As we reach mid to late November, it's time to talk turkey and it's time to talk Bobcat cross country. We got the assistant coach Stephen Carey with us today, as well as junior Michael Warwick and freshman Rebecca Winslow. It's a jam-packed show and it's coming at you right now. Hey Bobcat fans, Al Weston here. It's time for another Bobcat Coach's Corner. I'm going to talk cross country, and we got the coach Stephen Carey with us. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Second best beard in the athletic department right here, folks.
Arguably, arguably the second best.
I got to get mine going again. I got the groundwork is laid here, and we'll see what we can pull off, in a month or so. But Stephen, tell me about this season as it's coming quickly to a close. Gosh, it seems like this year went fast, didn't it?
You know, and this season's 2 weeks longer than it normally is, and it still feels like
What's
it's going
on?
fast. Yeah, it feels like I just blinked and the season was over. But Al, it's been a fun season. It's been kind of a rocky season, different than maybe what we expected, but it's been fun. There's been a lot of bright spots, and I think the teams are growing. This is a really growing season. We had some success last year on both sides. And had high expectations, and we've had to battle some stuff, but it's been fun.
Let's talk specifically about the men's squad. We'll just break them down one at a time here.
Sure.
Obviously, an overarching theme for both of them, frankly, is your youth. I mean, you're not going to lose any seniors this year,
right?
And that spells some good things for the future. But for right now, Paul McNeil has really just exploded for you this season, and not the just an impact type of guy.
Yeah, Paul has just been outstanding. Coming into the season, if you would have told me Paul would have led us, I think it's 4 out of the 5 races, I would have thought you were crazy, just from what we had returning from last year. But Paul put in the work, and I think in the spring I could tell something good was about to happen. I think he was close to that breakthrough, and this season he's just proved that he's on a different level. Conference, goodness gracious, breaking Dan Horseman's school record, and being the first all-conference honoree, I guess, in about 3 or 4 years. Yep. I mean, just outstanding. And he works really hard. He puts in the time, and he's just a good kid. I mean, if there's anybody that I would want something like that to happen to, I mean, Paul's that guy. Just genuinely good.
And I've talked with a couple of folks off camera about Paul. It seems like work ethic is really the thing that makes him different from the average runner, right?
Yeah, well, Paul is naturally gifted anyway. If you ever watch him run, I mean, the guy makes it look super easy. But, sometimes a lot of times those type of athletes don't necessarily become your top runners.
True.
But Paul has, and it is because of the hard work. It is because he comes from a background at St. Pius where his coaches, emphasized, strong work ethic and doing all the little things. And he's kind of carried that with him to Georgia College, and, it's paid off.
Rest of the squad has kind of fought for 2 through 4 for pretty much the rest of the year. I mean, you got Michael Warwick in there. We're going to be talking with Michael a little bit later on in the show. But, James Ryden is a guy that was your impact guy for you last year.
That's right.
And now he's battling for spots as well. I mean, obviously, you want that competition, within the team as well, don't you?
Yeah. And what's funny is they're all friends. Off the course, they're best buds. But on the course, I mean, they are cutthroat, and in practice you can see it. I mean, there's inter-squad competition all the time, and sometimes I have to put the reins on and I have to hold them back, but I'd rather do that than have to motivate them to want to do well. So, no, they definitely do that, and I think with them being so close definitely helps with their running as well and with our team score.
Another guy in a growth spot for you is the sophomore there, Matt Tippins. We don't really talk a whole lot about Matt because he's not leading races, but I mean he's displacing a lot of points for you and really had a great jump from that freshman to sophomore year, didn't he?
He did. And again, I mean, it just comes down to hard work. But Matt Tippins is the future of our program right now. Like you said, we don't talk a lot about him because he is 5th, 6th, or 7th on the team, but he's laying that foundation. And when these 4 juniors, after next year they'll graduate and they'll move on, and Matt Tippins and that sophomore freshman class right now, they're going to be the ones to step into those places. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. He's a great guy, great runner, so a lot of potential there.
Well, let's switch gears to the women's side. And it's been the Rachel Pasco show all year long.
Oh, absolutely.
Another record setter for you, and that's got to be a great thing as a coach to know that, since you've been here, all the records have been broken, right?
It is. It makes me feel good.
There it is right there. Put that on the resume.
Yeah, go ahead and mark that one off. Check it off. Rachel is a special individual. She's somebody that I almost feel like I can relate to her a little bit. I didn't feel like I had a lot of natural ability, but I just worked really hard. And Rachel exemplifies that same type of runner. She's just, she has the talent, but I think she makes up for whatever she lacks, and just the fact that she just wants it so bad. She'll run a personal best and still be mad at herself because she didn't run 10 or 15 seconds faster.
Okay, there you go.
Last weekend she was 17th in the conference, and she's mad that she's not 15th in the conference. So, I mean, she just constantly thrives for more. And, God, you can't coach that.
Absolutely. And Rachel has led you in every race this year. No
she
surprise there. The surprise maybe has been the evolution of these freshmen over the course of the year. I mean, you brought in so many of them. It's a big pack of folks after that. I mean, you have Megan Wetterhall as well as a seasoned veteran in there, but the rest of them are some youngsters, aren't they?
Yeah, we had 7 freshmen run at conference. I don't know if we've ever had that.
No, I can't imagine so.
So, yeah, I mean, over the course of the last several years, we've just trying to change. I don't want to say change the culture, but try to become more and more competitive in the conference. Get back to that runner-up spot that the women had several years ago. I think it's 2009.
Yep.
Just trying to get back to that way, and we've had to weed out a few, and after last year, seeing what we had returning, I went ahead and made that jump. And went after several women and ended up bringing in 7 freshmen. But, they're really close, and they're all from around the same area, so they kind of knew each other coming in, and that was pretty cool. And they're all of similar ability. So I always emphasize running as a pack, and we win and lose as a team. And Al, that's what they do. In practice, they're constantly pushing each other, and in races, they're constantly pushing each other. And we're trying to get to the point to where Rachel's leading the team, but behind her, the spots are mixing up constantly. Every race is somebody else different in that second spot, in the third spot, fourth spot, fifth spot, and on down. So, just trying to create some energy back there and hopefully get that pack from where they're running now to closer to the front of the conference and region.
And is that the idea with that pack style, is that they push each other and then that gradually pushes the team as a whole up?
Yeah. So that's definitely the emphasis. That's the goal of bringing in so many close ability runners, I guess. I don't know how you would word that, but
True.
So that's the goal. It's not something that we always talk about, but it just happens.
Okay.
I don't ever want them to think that they have to run side by side the entire race because each of them have different strengths and different weaknesses. But we talk about individual goals, and hopefully those align with the team goals. And they may not be together in the middle of the race, but by the end, they're coming across and blowing some teams away, hopefully.
Well, let's find out how many teams we can blow away this weekend, folks. Stay tuned to GCBobcats.com for all the results Saturday from the race out at Montevallo. After the break, we'll have Michael Warwick, one of those talented juniors on the men's side, and then Rebecca Winslow, one of those freshmen that we were talking about.
Right,
we are featuring everything we're talking about, and it's coming up after the break. Thanks for being with us, Stephen.
Absolutely, thank you.
We'll be right back.
No está nada mal.
¿Y qué tiene de raro? Bueno, la práctica hace el maestro.
No tienes que ser perfecto para ser un padre perfecto. Hay miles de adolescentes en foster care que no necesitan perfección, te necesitan a ti.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Did you take your medicine?
Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse,
You need a claim number?
her personal assistant,
Let me just grab a...
her housekeeper, her cook, her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
Hey Bobcat Nation, we're back here with cross country program. Michael Warwick Jr. going to join us. Thanks for being with us, buddy.
You
Appreciate
got it. You got it.
All right, so another solid season for Bobcat cross country, and as we're getting into the end of November, it's staring down the barrel of the end of the season as you're headed to the regionals. And how do you feel about the team's outlook for this weekend?
This is I mean, our whole season, all the off-season work we went through. This is where we want to shine. So far, so good. We have all improved, not to the extent I think we've wanted to, but kind of have a shot at revenge here, have a shot to tie everything together here on Saturday.
Now, we talked a little bit off camera, but you personally a little bit disappointed with your effort at the Peach Belt meet?
I think so. For the amount of work that I put in and the expectations we had, especially the expectations I put on myself, I was a little let down. I wish I could pinpoint what exactly went wrong last Saturday, but I know the work that I've put in will shine. I mean, it'll prove itself, and I think my opportunity is Saturday. So.
And you got such a tightly packed unit with this squad, more so than previous years. And in previous years, it's been normally one guy out in front, and then everybody kind of filters in behind them. Paul McNeil, of course, has had a great season for us and record-setting efforts, but you guys have been nipping right at his heels all year long. That makes for a good cross-country team, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, the pack running is what made us, especially last year. Haven't had that sort of tightly knit pack that made us so good last year. We're still great runners, and we still have super high ceilings. Obviously, Paul's led the way for us. He showed out at conference like I wouldn't believe. I mean, he deserved it more than anyone. Really puts in the work. I mean, it's just a matter of all of us. We do what the coaches ask. I mean, we do. We count on each other, keep each other accountable. So the pack is important, and on race day we really rely on each other. Okay, if I base my race off Paul, how he's doing. Okay, I'm this far back of Paul. I trust myself to be able to pick it up, or James is coming to get me, and Trevor's pushing the next guy. So it's a whole process that we have, and as much as we want our pack to be closer, at the end of the day, I think as long as everybody's doing their own thing, it works out fine.
A little bit of inter-competitive element to that as well, I imagine. When it gets down near that finish line, you want to kick in a little bit extra and beat your buddies too, right?
I think that starts in practice. I mean, we in the workouts and the easy runs, whatever it is, we're always kind of testing each other, pushing each other's buttons, and testing each other, making sure we're all doing our job. So. I mean, as much as we love each other and we want the best for each other, there's always a little bit inside of us that's like, okay, I really want to beat you too, prove my worth.
Absolutely. Tell me a little bit about your pathway getting to Georgia College. I know you had that unique setup of running at Georgia State, and unfortunately the program disbanded there. And tell me about the emotions and everything involved with that.
Yeah, it started out of high school. I was kind of picking between only a few schools. I wasn't even certain I wanted to run coming out of high school. I thought about Georgia College, but I felt like I had a better chance, and the whole Division I element sounded good to me at Georgia State. So went there. Team got cut after a year. I walked on there. But I had made some great friends, had some awesome memories. Became close with Trevor Turner, and he transferred. I think he chose first to transfer here. And since I'd already thought about coming here, coming straight out of high school, I opened up to Coach Carey and said, "Hey, can I come down for a visit?" He had his arms open for me and came down, saw everything, loved it, and made the move. It was hard. It was hard when the team got cut at Georgia State because I was a little apprehensive about if I even still wanted to run anymore. But it didn't take long for me to decide that this is where I wanted to be as soon as I met with Coach Carey and saw the school.
Yeah, was there any point, when you thought after that program was disbanded that, hey, maybe cross country's not in the cards for me at the collegiate level?
Yeah, it was quick. It was quick because I had a bad year at Georgia State. Wasn't running well. I didn't really like the coach, and the training wasn't for me, and it was tough. It was tough on me because I put a lot of pressure on myself coming out of high school. Like, yeah, I can run. I can be successful in college as a runner. And it didn't happen for me my freshman year. So I was really let down when the team got cut. Like, do I even want to go through this process again? What if I come all the way here and it doesn't work out for me? But Coach, when I spoke with him, it sounded like he was really a heads-up guy and could mold his training plan to fit our needs, and that was super appealing. So it's worked out well.
That's one thing we don't really have a whole lot of history in our program with transfers.
Yeah.
And normally it's folks that are working through for 4 full years. But you mentioned you and Trevor coming through at the same time. How was your acclimation to joining the rest of the guys on the squad and that team cohesiveness that way?
Yeah, it didn't take long. And I actually, when I left Georgia State, I was like, man, I'm never going to find the same group of guys, at any other school. And that happened. I mean, as soon as I came here and I met with the team, I think I met them the first day I was down here. The first night we all hung out. I was like, okay, this is going to work out just fine. These guys are super cool. And I think that's kind of what separates our team from a lot of other teams is that we're not running for ourselves. I mean, I care just as much about how my teammates do on race day than I do. I mean, if I have a bad race, like on conference, I was really let down after the race about myself, but it didn't take me long to kind of get some happiness back when I realized how well Paul had run and how happy I was for him. And I think that's kind of separates our team apart because everybody, has that same mindset that it's team first, and we care much more about each other really than ourselves.
Personal goals for you coming into the weekend. Where do you want to finish? What kind of time do you want to have? Maybe it's a better way to look at it.
Yeah, well, my PR going into the 10K is a 33:26. I ran that on a track in the spring. I think I can top that. I feel like I'm in better shape. It hasn't really, the work that I've put in hasn't proven yet on race day. Like I said, I'm really hoping it comes for me Saturday.
Sure, I got you.
So beating 33:26 would be nice. All region would be nice. I'm going to put myself out there in a position where I can hit those goals and hope it happens for me.
And this is a course that you've seen before. Did we? We ran a mid-season race over
there,
didn't we?
I've seen it, and we ran well there. It was one of our better races of the year. I ran well. Paul ran well. James ran well. Really, we had our whole team showed out pretty well. They changed the course a little bit. It was really hilly, and I think they changed it because it was dangerous. I went back up in the trails and went down hills and sharp turns. So they changed it. It's a little bit more flat. It's on grass. It suits me well. I'm excited because it's my kind of course that I can really fly on.
Probably a factor, too, of the magnitude of runners they're going to have now this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, once you get into regionals, it's a sizable meet, a lot of bodies out there as well.
It's huge.
Tell me about the major. I know you're a mass comm major and perhaps a future in front of the camera for you.
I would like that. Whether it's broadcast journalism or print journalism. Right now I'm floating around in print journalism and I'm really enjoying that. My two interests, sports and politics. So if I can write about those or talk about those and just give my opinion, that's the ultimate goal, and I'm thinking I'm on the right path, so we'll see.
All right, we'll be looking for this handsome face and behind a news desk in the near future, folks. Also, stay tuned to gcbobcats.com. I believe they've got live scoring going on out there in Montevallo, so you can see the times as each racer finishes this weekend. gcbobcats.com, check all the links there and see how Michael and the gang did this weekend. We'll be right back with more Bobcat Coach's Corner here with Cross Country.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Did you take your medicine? Oh gosh, I forgot it.
Her nurse,
You need a claim number?
her personal assistant,
Let me just grab a...
her housekeeper, her cook, her accountant. When I started taking care of Mom, I didn't realize the challenge of playing so many roles. But above all, I'm still her daughter.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving to connect with experts and other caregivers. Together we can better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
No están nada mal.
¿Y qué tiene de raro? Bueno, la práctica hace el maestro.
No tienes que ser perfecto para ser un padre perfecto. Hay miles de adolescentes en foster care que no necesitan perfección, te necesitan a ti.
Hey, Bobcat Nation, Al Weston here, back at the Coach's Corner. We're talking with Rebecca Winslow. Thanks for being with us.
You're welcome.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about freshmen coming in from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and growing up, and when did you think that that running was something that you'd be able to do at the next level, the collegiate level?
Well, I've kind of thought about it as an option for a while now. I have two older sisters that both ran in college, and so I had a good feel of kind of what it was like from watching them and going to their meets. And so I kind of based it off of what I knew from their experiences. They both started out in D1, so I knew that was a lot, and I didn't really want to do that. So I decided that I wanted to go to D2 school, and that's kind of what led me here to Georgia College.
And the sisters, where did they end up running? I know it was a couple of pretty big schools there for a little while.
Yeah, my oldest sister ran at Florida State for all 4 years, and then my other sister ran her first year at University of Kennesaw, and then now she's at University of Alabama, Huntsville.
And you talked about the workload. I mean, obviously there's a lot of time constraints to it with the traveling and practice and what have you, but Coach Carey and the gang, they set you up pretty good with early morning practice before the sun comes up. And, tell me about that balance of the academics and athletics. How has that been for you as a freshman?
It was definitely a little bit hard to get used to at first. It was very different from high school, having afternoon practice. But I like it a lot, and after you get used to it, it's really helpful, and you have pretty much your whole day to do classes and other things that you need to do.
I know you spend a large part of that freshman season getting ready for the extended distance as well. Do you feel like you're prepared and ready for the length of that 6K type of race now?
I do. We definitely did a lot of work over the summer to help build up our endurance, and especially in the beginning of this year we had a lot of long runs, which was very different, but I definitely see the benefits of it now.
Absolutely. Now, tell me about the recruiting process, working with maybe Assistant Coach Carey, who does a lot of our recruiting, and how did that go down for you?
It was pretty good. I was looking at a few schools at first, and then I kind of narrowed it down by which schools I felt interested in running in. And I took visits, and kind of when I came here, I'd been emailing Coach Carey about the school, and I came and visited and met with him. I just really liked the whole school, the atmosphere, and I definitely liked when I talked to Coach Carey. It felt like a program that I wanted to be part of. A lot of the ideas he had for the team and values, it seemed like something that I agreed with. So then when I met the team and they all seemed nice, it kind of sealed the deal for me.
And anybody that you came in with, I know it was a large recruiting class, anyone that you knew before coming to Georgia College?
I knew Mariah Maring. We didn't know each other very well, but we had gone to the same middle school, and then she ended up going to Collins Hill High School, and I went to Mountain View.
True.
And then after I signed with Georgia College, I found out that Caroline Williams signed, and she lived close by, so we met up a few times to talk and get to know each other a little bit before we came here.
And so it seems like that large a freshman class might have helped with the acclimation as well to running at the college level?
Yeah, I definitely think so. There's a large group of freshmen, but we're all very close. We all live close together, and we hang out together all the time, help each other through the different struggles.
And I know Spanish major, you were mentioning that as well off air, and the interest in doing some high school teaching and that sort of thing. Tell me about what made Spanish an interesting major for you.
Well, I took Spanish all 4 years in high school, and I just really fell in love with the language and learning languages. And so I thought about a lot of different majors, and it just kind of stuck with me. It's something I definitely have a passion for, and I definitely have a passion for teaching. So I felt like a good option.
Okay. What makes teaching interesting to you? I mean, is it just the idea of staying around youth and fresh ideas that way?
Yeah, I definitely like working with kids. I taught Sunday school for a little bit, although teaching I would probably be high school, which is very different from little kids.
a little bit.
But I do a lot of I'll help when my peers need help with different subjects, and I really enjoy helping them and explaining things in different ways. It's just something I enjoy doing.
And any interest in keeping running as a part of your life, maybe being a coach at the high school level or anything along those lines?
I think it's definitely a possibility, depending where I end up, what schools. If they have a running program where they need help in coaching, then I would definitely step in and coach. And if not, I definitely want to be involved in the students somehow, whether it's coaching or leading another organization.
Big race, of course, this weekend. That's what we're talking the most about is head to the NCAA regionals over at Montevallo, and it's a course that I believe you've seen before. Did you make the trip out there to Montevallo earlier this year?
Yes.
And so, I mean, is it something that you're prepared for? I mean, obviously, probably the biggest race of your young career here, right?
Yeah, I feel pretty prepared. They've changed the course slightly from when we ran it a few weeks ago, but it's still all in the same part. It's just they cut out one part. So I actually think it'll be better because it seems like it'll be a lot faster now. And I'm really excited. I think I definitely have a lot of fire from racing at conference, and I really want to do well and see what our team can do at region.
And talk to me about that unique nature of a team, but you're also running for yourself and your own personal goals. What did you have set for you running? What goals did you have set as an individual when you went into your first collegiate year, or were you just gonna see how it went?
Kind of see how it went. I definitely knew I wanted to run well and hit good times, which I kind of based as the season went on, since I've never ran 6Ks before. But I knew it's always, I want to run good times so that I can help the team out. When we're racing, I want to place high up, not just for myself, but so that we can score less points for the team.
Well, check Rebecca Winslow and the rest of the cross-country squad this weekend. Going to be headed to Montevallo, the NCAA Southeast Regional. Top 3 teams will advance to the finals, top 3 individuals as well. So be looking for both of those, a potential for Georgia College to make their first ever trip to nationals. Looking for all the results at gcbobcats.com. We have all the links and everything available for you there. We want to thank Stephen Carey. We want to thank Michael Warwick. We also want to thank Rebecca Winslow. Thank you for being with us. Great talking with these guys, and thanks for tuning in to the Bobcat Coach's Corner.